Hello students, now let's write a code to find out whether a given number is prime or composite. So what do we mean by a prime number and a composite number? Any number that is divisible by any other number except 1 and itself is called a composite number. In simple words, it should go in some numbers table. For example, 26. 26 is divisible by 2. It is divisible by 1 and 26, of course. Every number is divisible by 1 and the number itself. Right? For example, here we have written 13 divided by 13 is 0. So 13 divided by 1, the remainder is 0. That since it is giving remainder 0, that does not mean it's a composite number. Why? Because a composite number is divisible by any number other than itself and 1. Right? For example, if we were taking the example of 26, 26 is, what are the factors of 26? 1, 2, 13 and 26. So it is divisible by the numbers 2 and 13 also. So 26 is a composite number. But if you take the example of 19, there is no number that perfectly divides 19, giving remainder 0. So 19 is a prime number. So looking at how to program, we see these instructions. So here we first ask the user to enter a number. By default, when a value is entered, it is always of string type. To perform any mathematical operations, we have to convert it into a numerical value, and to do that we have here used the int function. So now the value entered by the user is converted into an integer. We take a variable flag having initial value as 0. So initially flag is equal to 0. Then we have a for loop. In the for loop, this for loop iterates from starting from 2 and goes till n divide by 2. See, you could have also written the number itself here, but for we do as a student of computer science, we are not just supposed to write solutions. We are also supposed to write optimized solutions, right? So we start from the 2 and till how long we are going to check? N divide by 2. For example, if you apply basic mathematics, if you take any number 20, suppose. So if this number, you divide this number by 2, 10. If this number is not divisible by any number till 10, it will also be not divisible by any number from 10 to 20. Right? मतलब अपने आधे number से if it gets divided, then it is a composite number. If it is not divided by half of its value, then it will also not be divisible by the other half of the values, right? Again repeating, if you take the example of 20, the half of 20 is 10. If that 20 is not divisible by values till 10, it will also not be divisible by values greater than 10 to 20, right? You can apply this basic principle to any value and check. So here what sequence are we generating? We start generating the sequence starting from 2. So the sequence that is generated is 2, and how long are we going to go? N by 2, right? So if here, if we see the number is 19, so when we divide 19 by 2, it is 8. So we'll have the sequence 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, till 7 we are going to check. If 19 gets divisible by any of these values, then it is a composite number, otherwise it will be treated as a prime number. So what in the for loop, what we are doing here is, we will divide 19 by 19 or whatever the value of n is by I. So what is I first? 2. So if you get the remainder 0, then flag is equal to 1. So now we indicate our flag was initially 0, we say now flag has become 1. We print composite and then we break. What does break statement do? It comes out of the loop. So it will come out of the loop and go till to line number 10. Right? In line number 10, it will check if flag is equal to 0. Is our flag 0? No, our flag is 1. So it won't do anything, right? Okay. Now imagine that we have not entered here. For example, if we were dividing 19 divided by 2, so the remainder is not 0. So we will not go inside this if. Okay? So we will not execute these statements and we will come out. We'll go to the next iteration. We'll try with 3. If n 19 mod 3 is equal to 0, is it equal to 0 19 mod 3? No. So these 3 statements will not be executed. We will again go to the next iteration. We'll divide 19 by 4, we'll divide 19 by 5, we divide 19 by 6 and then by 7. But in none of the cases our remainder became 0. So finally we come out of this loop. We come here and we check if flag is equal to 0. Yes, the flag is 0 because initially the flag was 0 and it was never set to 1 because the remainder was never 0. So yes, the flag is still 0. So we print prime, right? Let's take another example. For example, if I give value 24, we get composite, right? Because when we have 24, we'll execute this loop till 12, right? So that is the sequence that will be generated is 0, 8, 9, 10 and 11. When we divide 24 by 2, so we'll get remainder as 0, flag will be 1, composite is printed and the for loop is terminated. We don't have to check and with all these values because we now already know that the value 24 is composite.